In the interest of time, I would like to move on to our next speaker, who is, no, now I've left my notes here, who's Rana Ghoneim. She is the Chief of Energy Systems and Infrastructure Division at UNIDO in Vienna, and she leads the development of programs and promoting sustainable energy use and industry in the Middle East and North Africa and Africa regions at UNIDO. She also leads the Global Industrial Energy Efficiency Accelerator, which we'll also send you the link to. It's a very good platform to visit, as part of the Sustainable Energy for All's Global Accelerator platform. Rana has over 20 years of international experience on the development and implementation of programs, responding to a number of multilateral environmental agreements, such as the Montreal Protocol, the Stockholm Convention, and the UNFCCC. She holds a Master's of Science in Environmental Economics from the Imperial College of London. And she also, the reason why she's here today, or one of the main reasons, is that she plays a key role in UNIDO's gender mainstreaming programs across the globe. Rana, I'm handing over to you.
Hi, Petro. Good morning, and good morning to everyone. Thank you for inviting me to take part in this session, which is on a topic that's really close to my heart. So happy to share with you perhaps a few reflections on some of the insights we see globally on the topic of gender and energy nexus, and UNIDO's efforts in actually helping and raising ambition and action at country level, but also institutional level in terms of bringing better gender parity within the energy sector. So I have to say that I grew up in a household where we were treated equally, the girls and the boys, and I never really saw that the barriers that perhaps women could face in future, because for me it was I chose the topic that I wanted to study. I pursued the career that I wanted, but then being part of the industry, you start really looking and experiencing firsthand really some of those barriers and that are facing women particularly. So this speaks to why this is also a subject that I'm particularly passionate about, because I'm really keen to ensure that we are uplifting and also integrating and involving and engaging women very well into this sector. So as part, in fact, of a program that we were running last year under the Vienna Energy Forum virtual series, we conducted a discussion and a debate globally around gender and energy, and the critical gaps that are facing us in terms of bringing more gender equality within the energy sector. And so this is a debate that brought about over 100 institutions from different countries, regions, and also global players. And I can say that at the end, what we came up with is actually 5 critical barriers that or areas for action that women need to be more cognizant, but I mean not only women, also men need to be more cognizant of. So and the first one is actually policies. So there is a real gap in terms of having policies that are tailored and geared towards inclusion of women and addressing actually some of the needs that would allow women in entering into the sector and also progressing in their careers within the energy sector. And I mean, I was really happy to hear also what was said already on the impact evaluation. So a lot of what we are discussing is also has been like confirmed also at the national level within what was shared by the colleagues on the impact study. So there, for example, what we want is to see that there's more policies at corporate level, institutional level, government level that, for example, set gender targets. And I will try to perhaps give the example also of the UN, as I believe we should be also one of the models on that. So having targets for bringing gender parity, particularly in leadership roles by 2030. So having 50% representation of women at senior management level. This is an example of how institutions, governments, etc., could start by putting more clear targets around bringing gender equality in the sector. And again, I mean, just to tell you, so there is a big gap, because at the moment there's about 1/3 only, so 33% or 30 to 33% women representation at senior level within the UN. So having that target and complemented by a work program that we call basically SWAP. It's like a work program that also defines how will we achieve that target. So it's not enough to just say that's where I want to go, but also what are the steps that I need to take. And there again comes into play the role of enabling environment policies. So be it having paternity and maternity rules that are adequate also to the to the needs of women and men, working from home policies, which I think now I have to say probably one of the positive things about COVID is that it actually really accelerated many companies and also including again the UN to adopt better practices for working from home. So that's of course not to mention that if countries are developing a renewable energy strategy, I mean, and that strategy is looking at the development of 30% renewable energy by 2030. It's not enough to just say that. We need to look at that policy and try to see how many jobs are being targeted to be created, and to also ensure that we provide mechanisms and policies that ensure that those jobs can actually bring into account balanced inputs from both women and men. The second area of work, and also again I was alluded to in the impact evaluation, is data. We cannot really measure progress if we don't know where we stand, what are the metrics that we are using to measure that progress. And so there, having clear data and working both at again country level, corporate level, regional level, to improve availability of data that allows us to track progress in a sex disaggregated manner. So this is an area where we also see quite an urgent need to bring more actions and ambitions on. The third area is financing and access to financing, and working actually with multilateral donors, bilateral donors, and all of the financing community to bring a gender lens into any investments, grant making mechanisms, so to ensure that at the end of the day also some of these decisions are not just gender blind, but rather taking into account also needs of women. So we, for that, in fact, as well, we have developed a training course which is online, and I invite you all to take part of that as well. So it's about gender lens investing, and we're trying to raise more awareness and work with the global community on increasing attention on that. And then we come to the fourth area, and that is related more to skills development, and of course, I mean, a core part of the industrial energy efficiency project has been on training. But I think what's important is there to bear in mind that also when we talk about training, we're not only talking about energy management system optimization training, but also better skills training, so leadership skills. And again, I'd refer to myself personally. I was not, until I took part of that course, I started to become myself more aware of some of the, systemic challenges that are in our system, concepts related to glass ceilings, or even more, for the more action-oriented glass cliffs, because we tend to actually sometimes even take challenges that are bigger than what we can take, because also we are quite passionate about what we are doing. So really bringing a bit more awareness on some of these concepts and the biases as well that are intrinsic in us, right? So, for example, going back a bit to the policies, when we talk about recruitment policies, one of the things that we practice also here within UNIDO is gender parity in panels, because it's important. I mean, we just as we saw in the impact study, women and men perceive things differently, and so if we want to change also the rate of entries into the system, we really need to ensure that those that are reviewing and the applications, those that are being on the panel, also have those different perceptions to give also women better chances in being in the sector initially, but also continuing with their careers. Another examples here on helping with the development of skills, and that's perhaps something you can consider, is bringing and mentorship, more mentorship opportunities. Those that are more senior, helping those that are more junior in sharing their experiences, identifying areas in which they would like to improve. So now that brings me to the last area of action, which is related to energy access. And there, what we see, unfortunately, is that in many countries around the world, still issues related to access of land is an issue for women. And then there, if we want to really progress with energy access and where actually women are also mostly affected, we need to change this narrative. It's not enough to just look at, oh, okay, women are affected more by climate change, they are affected more by energy access. Women have actually quite a lot of skills to also be involved in the sector more proactively and to lead roles as entrepreneurs. And I really enjoy always, particularly watching, and hearing more stories of young women from Africa that are really at the community level leading efforts to increase access to energy, to support with the vaccination rollout, improve the access to water for farming, and so many others. So I think this is something that we really want to highlight, them more of these successful cases to also inspire other women to be in that sector. So with that in mind, okay, these are the 5 action areas. We've had the discussion, and last year there was an event at the level of the General Assembly called the High-Level Dialogue on Energy. And at the high-level dialogue on energy, many countries started to make pledges towards increased ambitions in the energy sector. So these are called energy compacts, and going back to this point of, it's not enough to just say we want to get towards 30% renewables by 2030, but we need to look at how gender inclusion is taken into that, into account within that. So basically what we have initiated in partnership with Energia and also the Global Women's Network for the Energy Transition is a cross-cutting energy compact, which is called the Gender Energy Compact. And there we have solicited for signatories from governments as well as from private sectors, philanthropies, academia, to commit and bring commitments along these 5 action areas. So at the moment, we have actually more than 80 signatories and around 6 or 7 champion countries, including, for example, Kenya in Africa. And so at the moment, what we are looking at is to do a mapping of all of the energy compacts that have been submitted by countries to really look at which countries actually had gender specific ambitions within those compacts. And so that's the purpose of that, is really to benchmark and see where is the starting point, and then work with some of those countries and also institutions that have made these commitments towards increasing that ambition, or even coming up with ways to really implement it. So I believe, with what I've heard also today from South Africa, in view of the policy, in view of the developments as well, the impact study, the opportunity there, I believe that really South Africa should be really with us on this Gender Energy Compact, and I hope that we can, with the support of the NCPC and other partners as well in South Africa, bring South Africa to the network, both to showcase the success that has been achieved so far, but also to help in increasing ambition for future action. Thanks again for inviting me. I think maybe we can leave the last few minutes for some questions. Back over to you, Petro.
I think one of the important thing that comes from what you've now said is part of what we will need to follow up as people in this room today. Also specifically talking to Winnie from the DMRE, talking to the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, and of course the DTIC, Ilse Barron. I think you missed their presentations because it was quite early on. So thank you again, thanks very much. And the information that Rana spoke about again, I suggest if those of you are interested, we will share their links, but those of you who are interested in the meantime to go and have a look, I suggest go to the UNIDO website and then just search there for the gender-related information. UNIDO is www.unido.org. The training courses that Rana referred to, there are many of them. They are outstanding, and we will also send you the links to those.